Hello, all you beautiful souls. How you doing today? I hope you're doing great. This is video number 16. What star are we from? In my series. This is the Star Lineage uh, series. You'll find the Star Lineage with all its videos in the playlist under the tab Star Lineage. It's also in podcast form for all the busy people out there. My millennial granddaughter tells me that that's a good thing. The younger ones like podcasts. So there you go. And also, I received the message um, from the Arcturus energy that is bringing me along here, and which I am following their guidance. Uh, I have been informed to rearrange the numbers because, as you will hear when I read the narrative, the placement of the numbers are important in the message. So, from the lowest message on up to the highest message we've got here. So this will help all of us. Me too. I'm learning, just like you are. They're bringing me along. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so very much. And please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do share it. If you know of anybody that has an inkling for star people, the galaxy, the universe out there, they might find this rather refreshing and informative. Okay, I'm going to read the narrative now. What star are we from? Message from above. Galactic Heritage Cards are used to help us tap into our star lineage and karmic patterns, and also reveal lessons brought to Earth from the stars and how these lessons can be used in our life on Earth now. A star lineage spread more accurately reflects what stellar influences are working with you now in the moment you choose the cards. If you do readings often, the cards may change, but over time you will notice a pattern that keeps emerging if you are working with the cards in a sincere way. This is a fluid system without fixed positional meanings because it represents the multidimensional and holographic nature of consciousness. Each card has a number, a civilization, a theme, and text that goes with it. The numbering order is based on the journey from unity to polarity, through integration and back to unity. We have 21 different species and 108 cards in this deck. 4 timeline suits, past, present, future, and parallel. The cards are numbers based on the journey from unity to polarity and back to unity, reflecting a universal theme, that of a state of oneness, a fragmentation into individuality, and the process of integration back to the state of oneness. Thus, the cards in the lower numbers represent the earliest process of unity fragmenting into individuality and the star consciousness who guides us. Early to mid-range numbers represent the physical civilizations. The higher number cards are the reintegration cards, representing a movement of energy from unity to polarity and then to reintegration. Card numbers later in the deck represent the integrative processes of our star family as it moved towards unity. Parallel cards refer to a certain era of that civilization on the card. Future cards are an era of mature civilizations, where our extraterrestrial guidance mostly comes. These cards work with your intuition. Okay. Now, I wanted to point out in this one here, we have got we've got 8 cards here, and 3 of them are new messages for the first time since I began the series. And let's see, we've got Let me get the lowest number. Yeah. Okay, right here. These 73, 74, yeah, and 99. These are the three new messages for this reading, that we haven't heard before. All these others we have um, for energy transmission. I'll let you know when we get there. But yeah, energy transmission 10. This one is the second showing, the second time we're hearing this message. And then card number 14, Seeds of Polarity, the second time we're seeing this message. We're hearing this message, I should say. Number 29, the Hive Mind, second time we're getting this message. 42, Blind Enthusiasm, second time also. So all these are second time appearances here. Yeah. Okay. And then for 49, this is the third time this message has come from the missing link, Earth Past. Isn't that interesting? I love this. This is good. So the Arcturus energy has told me that this is how we're going to do this. We're going to read it like this. Okay. So I'm going to lift up the card, show it to you, and then I'm going to start reading the text on it. For anyone that's new here, energy transmission, Arcturus parallel timeline. Look at the art on that. Isn't that special? I love this form of abstract art they have on here. For me, I see it and I see abstract, but you might see something else. Everything's good. Okay, here we go. Oh, I got to put my phone on airplane mode. I didn't mean to forget that. It's one of those little pesky details you kind of forget about. Come on, there we go. Okay, we're good to go. Card number 10, energy transmission. Arcturus energy has guided humanity since its very early inception, but its guidance is subtle. It often guides through gentle energy transmission. Often this energy transmission comes through the healing arts, such as Reiki and other forms of hands-on healing. Because Arcturus polarities are totally balanced, it usually circumvents the mind when working with humans. If you pulled this card, then the Arcturus energy wishes to work through you. In a quiet space, open your palms and focus on the energy sensations there. Ask for a transmission. This energy is familiar to you from ancient times. Because the Arcturian energy is so pure in essence and so connected to our true state of being, it can assist us on the earth plane in many ways. It is often channeled through hands-on healing techniques and without words, is transmitted from one human to another through love and touch. Again, this is one reason why it is such a profound component of midwifery. It is often the first energy channeled by new channels. Healing practitioners often get this card in their readings as a validation of their art. If you have received this card in your reading again, it is important to look at the peripheral circumstances to which it can be applied. It may be acknowledging your healing abilities or suggesting that you work on them more. It may be telling you that you are the recipient of a transmission from loving Arcturus consciousness. Go deep within to find what it is telling you. It could also be referring to channeling abilities that you have that can be expressed in many ways. In meditation, see if you can open yourself to receiving this transmission and know that the transmission can come in words or thought, simple, pure, loving energy. Become in words or through simple, pure, loving energy. There you go. That's a beautiful message. And it works too. I have been receiving from the Arcturus energy, doing exactly that. Okay, now our next message comes out of card 14, Seeds of Polarity, Lyra Past. Let me try to get that glare out of there. Lyra Past. Interesting picture, isn't it? Looks, there's a bean in there. It's got a tip on the top and a tip in the bottom. Interesting art. Very interesting. Okay. Number 14. Seeds of Polarity. As humanoid races began growing throughout the Lyran system, the yin-yang principle of duality became more pronounced. At first, the polarities remained balanced, but because our cosmic journey is about growth and the integration of polarity, those polarities had to become more pronounced before they could be healed. Take a look at how polarity plays out in your life today. Do not fear it as you did in ancient times. Learn how to stay balanced, even amid the temptation to choose one pole over the other. Wisdom comes from embracing both rather than choosing one side over the other. As we progress through the process of our separation from the source and our journey into polarity, this card represents the beginning era of polarity that began to manifest in the Lyran colonies that later branched out to the future Lyran colonies and races that came from Lyra. This further fragmentation was a necessary step in our journey into polarity. But at this point in time, the Lyrans were an immature civilization and didn't know how to balance polarity. Thus, there were times in their past that were very dark because these young beings had no roadmap by which they could navigate polarity. They often got sucked into choosing negative or positive and furthering the fragmentation. On Earth now, we have the wisdom of our ancestors within us, Lyrans included, to help us navigate this treacherous road, and it is most likely that we won't make the same mistakes as our forefathers. If this card comes up in your reading, it can often serve as a warning to you to not polarize in your life now. Examine your choices and actions carefully. Even when you think you might be making a choice from a place of neutrality, look deeper. The idea of good and evil, which is a polarity many humans encounter, is really an illusion. Can you go beyond those value judgments, which are labels created by the mind, and see what lies beyond a polarized reality? Oh, yes. I don't know how, but I've managed to do that a few times in my life. So I really do try to practice it now. Yeah. Okay, our next message comes from card number 29, the hive mind, insectoid species, parallel timeline. Look at the art there. I like the art. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right, number 29. Hive mind. There are many extraterrestrial insectoid species that have contacted Earth for thousands of years. They are peaceful and have harmonious society that is based on the idea of a group thinking as one. Most humans shun the idea of a loss of individuality, but it can also be a freeing experience whereby the ego no longer dominates one's reality. Since all consciousness is ultimately one anyway, insectoid beings reflect this truth. You have connected with these beings in the past, and their energy is now asking you to remember the oneness that lies underneath the illusion of separation. This is a very archetypical card that has less to do with specific ET species and more to do with our relationship to the universe. One of the greatest human fears is losing individuality. Yet, in order to evolve and survive as a species, we will need to embrace group consciousness in a constructive and harmonious way. There are numerous species in creation, insectoid and other, whose societies are based on a hive mind or a community oriented structure. To some degree, even the Zeta Reticuli species has this consciousness, and the power of the whole has been what has ultimately saved their species from extinction. On Earth now, our individuality and attachment to our ego's opinions are destroying us. This card asks us to look at how we can relinquish this habitual need to cling to individuality in favor of embracing a more collective universal outlook. We can start at the community level and move outward to the planetary one. The truth is that we are all connected, no matter how far apart we feel. Denying this only prolongs the inevitable shift needed to move to the next level of our evolution. This card can be interrupted with this in mind. This card can be interpreted with this in mind, but it could also mean that you personally have a connection to an insectoid or hive mind species, and this connection can help you bring those needed changes in awareness to your life and to the planet. Oh, yes, I'm working on that myself right now, that hive mind. Because for me, it's like, okay, we're talking about conformity here. To conform, to assimilate. And my ego don't like that at all. But my higher consciousness is looking at it and helping my ego to settle in, understand, and see the journey and the necessity for it as a whole to survive. Yes. Okay, our next message is in card 42. Blind enthusiasm, Pallades past. Look at that art. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Now we'll hear this message. Blind enthusiasm. A habitual pattern of the Palladians when they were a young species was to become very excited about an idea and implement it without thinking it through. What are the far-reaching implications of these actions? Who benefits and who is hurt? Take a good look at the times you may have done this in your current life. In the eyes of the universe, there are no mistakes. However, everyone has a responsibility to see beyond their own excitement and try to make choices that support the whole rather than simply the ego's desires. It refers to a time when the Palladians were a young species and very idealistic and enthusiastic. Like a big puppy, they often excitedly bounce from one plan to another without thinking things through, sometimes offending or hurting those on the other end of their plans. It is a quality of most young people and species, and through lessons learned, we eventually grow out of it. The Palladians today still have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm, but it isn't so blind any longer. They have learned patience, temperance, and respect in regard to others. One of the significant signs of a matured person or species is that they can make decisions with their eyes fully open and never infringe on the rights of others, force a reality on others, or become self-centered in their plans. The Palladians have achieved this state, but humans are not yet there. If this card has come up in your reading, look to the other cards to see if it might be a Palladian karma or memory of yours. Are there other cards with a similar theme? It may simply be a warning about your actions in this life as a human. And this is absolutely something that I have to work on. I do work on. And sometimes I get caught up in my own excitement to do something and get ahead of myself, and it doesn't go well. So, so I totally resonate with this card. And we'll continue on. Okay, now another message coming through. Card number 49, missing link, Earth Past. Missing link. Yeah. What is the missing link? Well, I've recently come to understand it's about that connection we have with the ether world, the heavens. We can't see this cord that's coming out of our crown chakra that ties us to the source, the light and the love of the one infinite creator, but it's absolutely there. That is the missing link. It is not a three-dimensional put your eyes on it thing like old bones. That's not what it is. At least, okay, let's consult the book now, and we'll be reminded of the message in here that's being revealed. See how far off base I am. That's what comes to mind. Okay, missing link. The human race has never truly been alone. Since ancient times, our ET forefathers have been working with us, both genetically and spiritually, to nurture our development as a species. Uplifting a younger species is a natural part of galactic civilization. You pulled this card because you have a past connection to these ancient projects between humans and ETs. As you explore this connection, you will find that the so-called missing link is not just a genetic reference, but a spiritual one. What has been missing is an understanding of who we are and our place in a vast galactic community. This card has both literal and symbolic meanings, and how you apply it in your reading depends on the surrounding cards, your life circumstances, and how much you know about your inner self. The card text refers to the genetic projects of the ETs who helped to create the new humans on Earth. But the energy of this card goes much deeper. What do you feel is missing in your evolution and growth? Is that missing piece an ego desire or a true recognition of the next step in your spiritual work? That missing piece usually refers to a part of ourselves that we are denying. Perhaps you are seeking a more direct connection with your higher self and or the wisdom of the universe, which are really us anyway. Perhaps it is the ability to love and forgive yourself. After closer examination deep inside yourself, you will find that nothing is over is that nothing is ever really missing anyway. If this card comes up in your reading, it may refer to a past life during the time of the genetic projects and or karma you took on at that time. But it may also refer to something much deeper. What are you searching for? This card challenges you to answer that question and then look more deeply. You will always find it is already within you. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Fascinating journey. Okay. The next message. These next three messages are the first time we're hearing these. So excited. Okay. Freedom. Card number 73 is freedom. Vega. Future. I thought we had this one. No, it must be it. It's another Vega card that I'm thinking of because of the art on it. I believe we've had this card, the art anyway, portion of it. Look at that little, yeah, it's interesting art, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, here we go. On to the message. 73. Freedom. The ancient Vegans had many challenges in their personal development, including feelings of self-limitation, self-judgment, over-controlled emotions, and martyrhood, to name a few. This kept them feeling like slaves to their mental and emotional patterns for millennia. But as they awakened, they realized that those patterns were just illusions that stopped them from seeing their inner light. Once they realized this, they experienced a tremendous sense of spiritual liberation and freedom. This is the same challenge humans have. Can you stop validating mental, emotional patterns and simply be your light? This card refers to an era of Vegan history in which the Vegans had surmounted all of their spiritual challenges and became an awakened species. All civilizations have this opportunity, but often a planetary civilization has to go through several cycles of darkness and ignorance before it can become awakened. Earth is in a time of darkness now, but it is always darkest before the dawn. Humanity has tremendous potential to become an awakened species as well, but the process is never easy. It requires individuals and the society as a whole to see themselves clearly and take the steps needed to transform ignorance into enlightenment. This card refers to the immense freedom and liberation that comes from spiritual insight and no longer being a slave to emotions, painful memories of the past, or fears about the future. It refers to a state of consciousness that is rooted in the now, where all your energy that once was spent in worry, fear, judgment, and self-sabotage is reclaimed. If this card shows up in your reading, then it usually means that you are on the precipice of major change or opportunity to free yourself from old destructive patterns that have kept you stuck. In order to express this energy in the physical reality, however, you will need to take all the steps needed in your life to claim your freedom. Know that these steps may be painful, but the liberation that comes is like a rebirth. As each person takes these steps to transform his or her life, the entire planet's consciousness can evolve as well. Have no fear. The energy of the ancient Vega masters supports you in your journey. Wow, that was a great message. I loved hearing that. Okay. Message coming out of card number 74. Initiation and ceremony. Vega future. Yeah, see, they got the same artwork. Okay. There we go. Well, almost the same artwork. Okay, I just noticed this. Okay. Okay, the bird, that's pretty same. But look at the little thing beside it, these is different. So that's how they change it. And that one, oh, look at that. It's got little people gazing up at the stars. All right. That was cool. I like that. Okay. The message receiving out of card 74, initiation and ceremony. Early on in Vegan mysticism, initiation and ceremony played an important role in making milestones in life for spiritual development. On Earth today, we've often lost touch with the meanings of our ceremonies, and so they feel empty when we do them. But honoring important experiences in life is crucial to feeling connected to the universe instead of just like pawns in a bigger picture. This card asks you to tap into the ancient memory and begin experiencing life's milestones, big or small, by, by celebrating them through a ceremony that expresses the sacredness of your lifetime here on Earth. Language is linear, so the concepts of linear communication limit the true scope of universal expression. Ceremony, ritual, and initiatory practices access universal archetypes and are true forms of communication that go beyond linear language. When physical beings perform ceremonies authentically, not by habit, it is possible to access deep universal truths and accelerate evolution and spiritual transformation. This card refers to an enlightened time of Vega when they were rooted fully in aware consciousness. Their whole lives were lived as a ceremony, a sacred expression of existence itself. In today's world, humans perform many tasks mindlessly every day and don't feel present for their own lives. Ancient practices on Earth and Vega help keep the mind focused on the present moments. When this is done, even the most mundane of tasks can become an expression of sacred universal consciousness. If you pulled this card, its meaning depends on the surrounding cards and your life circumstances. It may mean that you need to implement this awareness in the now consciousness because you have gotten too distracted and are sleepwalking through life. Or the card may be acknowledging your already strong devotion to sacredness. The card may also be reminding you of a past pagan life which you mastered this ability. As you truthfully look at your life and where it is out of balance, you can shift nearly any challenge by allowing sacredness into every act. Slow down, breathe, focus on the moment instead of worrying about the future. With retraining, this simple ability can profoundly change your life. I believe that's really true. I have found that in my own life. I mean, here just recently, I have set up a prayer altar. This is it's a ritual, a ceremony, and it's something that I step into and give credence to twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And I have noticed a profound impact on me. So that's why I have to offer about this message. Now we go to mirror reflection. Zeta Reticuli, future. Let's see what the message is here. There's a little one peeking out from behind the mature Zeta. Yeah, future. All right, now for this message. Mirror reflection. One of the reasons for the fearful Zeta encounters humans had in the past was so we could look into the reflection they represent and see ourselves. They were a major force to help humans confront their species' fears. They show us ourselves, the full journey of human consciousness from fear to love and to ultimate reunification with the source. This card asks you to begin looking at your fears as a reflection of what you need to see. Don't look away. As you look fear in the eye, you can begin to see transformation and that you have all the answers you need. Let fear transform into love as the Zetas did. This card refers to the Zeta era in which their species' fears and challenges were behind them, and they became an enlightened species. Whenever we meet a true enlightened being, that being becomes a clear mirror in which we can see ourselves, the beautiful and the ugly. This is one of the gifts enlightened beings have to give to us. Because the Zetas as a species experienced a confronted because the Zetas as a species experienced and confronted their deepest fears and desperation and nearly did not survive. They were able to purge their addiction to polarity and separation, integrate their fears, and awaken. If this card came up in your reading, its meaning depends on the other cards and your life circumstances. Most likely, that card is suggesting that you begin a spiritual process of truly confronting and healing your fears and allowing them to transform you. This process cannot be postponed indefinitely if you sincerely wish to evolve. Conversely, the card may be acknowledging your recent success and this process, and that you have made a shift. If you feel a connection with the Zeta species, it is also most likely acknowledging that you are connected with Zetas from this time stream. Go within and ask your higher self what, if anything, you need to come to confront, and then be willing to clearly see its reflection. This revelation and the subsequent healing that comes from this process can be deeply profound. Don't look away from the mirror of reflection. Don't look away from the mirror reflection. Yeah. Well, that was packed, wasn't it? This is beautiful. I know this must be helping you because this is totally better helping me. The numbering, laying it out from the lowest to the highest. It really helps with following the journey that they're leading us through, that they're trying to help us with. Wow. This was good. How about you? How do you feel? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Okay? I thank you all for being with me. I really do. I love you all. And yeah, this is great. I love it. So if you're into podcasts, you know, try listening on podcasts. I think this one would go okay. I mean, you're not going to be able to see the little pictures, but you know, that's a small portion of it. Hearing it is very It's very helpful, I think. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here with me. And remember to breathe. Please remember to breathe and try to meditate if you can every day for at least 5 minutes. I know some of you meditate, and like me, others we're working on it. I've been doing good, so you know it's a practice. Meditation is a practice. So anyway, I love you all. Love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. And I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Bye.